Welcome back to the channel, boys. Fabulously's coming at your neck with this 100 discipline Shadebinder build. Now with this build, it's heavily focused on getting your grenade back, being able to control space around you, control the enemies by freezing them, slowing them down, and it kind of has a support aspect to it as well by using Verity's Brow. Now let's get right into it. Now obviously we're using the Shadebinder subclass. We're using the Dust Fuel Grenade this time, and this is the one I highly recommend for this build because of one of the fragments I have down low. This allows this grenade to last longer. We got both of our aspects right here. Both of these together allow us to have 4 fragment slots. And let's talk about these fragments right here. Now this one right here is Whisper of Durance. Slow from your abilities last longer. For those abilities that linger, aka Dust Fuel Grenades, their durations will also increase. It gives me plus 10 in strength as well. So my Dust Fuel Grenades last longer simply because of one fragment right here. We also have Whisper of Hedrons, which gives you a weapon damage bonus. When you freeze a target, it does take away 10 strength. So these two do kind of like nullify, they cancel out each other. We got Whisper of Fissures, increase the damage and size of the burst of stasis when you destroy a stasis crystal or defeat a frozen target. And then we got Whisper of Refraction, defeating slowed or frozen targets grants your class ability energy. I believe my recovery is like 70, so anything to get my class ability back, that's kind of what the Warlocks want. You want your Empowering Rift or your Healing Rift back as much as possible. Oh yeah, my stats are actually right here. I didn't even realize we have 70, we have 70 recovery. Now as for your loadout, you do kind of have some options. This is the one loadout I went with. We got Heritage, and this is actually a beautiful roll. We got Full Bore or Polygonal Rifling, but I recommend Full Bore. We got Tactical Mag or Light Mag, and then we have Reconstruction. This weapon slowly reloads itself over time, up to double the capacity. It reloads itself when it's in your hands, and it also reloads when it's stowed away. A really good perk to have on special weapons. And then we have Thresh. Killing combatants with this weapon generates a small amount of super energy, and I think as long as you're chaining together these kills with the weapon, it actually generates more super energy. I don't know if that's true or not. It's just kind of what I've noticed. Maybe it's just all the super energy stacking up on one another, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I just noticed that I get more super energy and kind of chains together. We got a Reload Masterwork. Now I wish this was either range or maybe handling or something like that as opposed to reload speed. Because I have Reconstruction, I literally never have to reload. With this perk, I have 7 in the magazine. It's double, so I have 14. I have 14 bullets when it's fully reconstructed, I guess. 14 bullets in one magazine is disgusting, especially since that slug shotguns are so powerful right now. Having 14 shots is it's unbelievable how good this shotgun is. Now as for my primary weapon, I went with a weapon with Demolitionist. It can be on your special weapon as well, but I highly recommend it being on your primary because this is going to be generally where you're using the most. I have Field Prep Demolitionist on this Gnawing Hunger, and the reason I picked Gnawing Hunger is because I did try this build out with Nezarec Sin, so I'm going to get to that in a moment, but you need a void weapon for Nezarec Sin to work, so which is why I picked the Gnawing Hunger right here. And then we got the Lament because this thing is, well, it's the Lament. If you haven't used it, what are you doing? You have to get this sword. It is so good. It is unbelievably good. So if you have not used this, you are missing out greatly. So let's talk about these stats right here. We got 40 mobility. We got 25 resilience. Now we got 70 recovery. This is great. I don't even think I have any recovery mods on. And the fact that I was still able to hit 70 recovery is great, which means that my class ability, my Rift, is on a 59-second cooldown. And we have 101 discipline, which means my grenade is on a 53-second cooldown. But with some of the mods and the fact that I have a demolitionist weapon, this is going to be much shorter, and my exotic armor piece is going to make this much shorter. We have 34 intellect and we have 40 strength. So we're going to start with the helmet, which happens to also be my exotic piece of choice, Verity's Brow. Now the armor perk that comes on it is the 4th magic. Energy weapon kills grant death throws, which provides a bonus to the damage of your grenade and grants you grenade energy. When you have death throws and throw a grenade, nearby allies gain greatly increased grenade regeneration for a short time, which is why I said in the beginning of the video, it kind of has a support aspect to this build. Now like I said a minute ago, I did also try this build out with Nezarec Sin, which simply, if you're getting void weapon kills or void damage kills, you get your abilities back faster. That's more for solo play. If you're playing by yourself, I highly recommend using Nezarec Sin because you're not really going to take advantage of the full part of this exotic right here. Verity's Brow gives your teammates an insanely fast grenade regeneration rate, and I think that plays in hand very nicely with the fact that we have 100 discipline, we have a demolitionist weapon. We're pretty much going to always be able to give your teammates or my teammates insanely fast grenade regeneration, which is going to allow us to control the battlefield more. if there happens to be overload champs, deal with them quicker. It's just going to allow us to freeze enemies, just be able to control the situation so much more better, because the stasis grenades are very good at that. They're very good at slowing down enemies, getting your damage buff from Whisper of Hedrons, or whatever it is, getting the ice wall, glacier freeze or something like that, glacial grenade. If the Titan has that on, then he can get his grenade back, you can get your grenade back if you have the specific fragment on. It's very good for that type of playstyle, because if you're supporting your teammates, they're going to be able to help you out. So it's a win-win situation here. We're also rocking a discipline mod. We got shotgun ammo finder because heritage is a beast. We got sword ammo finder because the lament is a beast. And then we got taking charge. On my gauntlets, we have a minor strength mod. We got auto rifle loader because I'm using gnawing hunger. And then we got impact induction, causing damage with a melee attack reduces your grenade cooldown. And then we got sustained charge, become charged with light by rapidly defeating combatants with an auto rifle, trace rifle, or machine gun. Additional copies of this mod increase, whatever. But pretty much as long as I'm chaining together these kills with my auto rifle, I'm going to become charged with light. My auto rifle is masterwork, so if I'm generating orbs of power, I'm going to become charged with light as well. Orbs of power, charged with light, I'm getting so mixed up here. Now on my chest piece, we're rocking a minor discipline mod. We got shotgun reserves, we got auto rifle reserves, and then we have firepower. While charged with light, regain a portion of your grenade energy when you use your grenade, consuming 1 stack of charged with light. And these mods do stack, so if you have more firepower mods, you're going to get even more grenade energy based on how many mods you have stacked up. This plays in hand with the fact that I'm using 100 discipline, demolitionist weapon, verity's brow. I'm literally just trying to spam these dust field grenades as much as possible here. On my legs, we're rocking another minor discipline mod. We got a sword scavenger, we got shotgun scavenger, and then we have another firepower mod. So this is 2 right here in this armor set. And on my warlock bond, we got another discipline mod. And we have double bomber mods, reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability. I have 7-year recovery, so this is really good here. Plus I have that one fragment that as long as I'm killing frozen or slowed combatants, I get class ability energy back. So if I use my grenade, I use my class ability, I get a nice chunk of grenade energy. And then let's say if I get somehow I get my class ability back, can use it again, get another chunk of grenade energy. And then we have charged up, which allows for 1 additional stack of charge with light, which means I have 3 stacks now. Now, since Verity's brow is literally it's honestly a hideous exotic, I did not know how to style this. So I simply just used the seasonal ornaments from the season pass. And I think it works pretty well. You know, I did the same color scheme on it. I used the bone theme with the bones here and the bone on my warlock bond. I don't know. I did what I could with it, but honestly, this helmet is just so ugly. It is so ugly, but let me know what you guys think. This build ended up being way more lethal than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was just going to be throwing the grenades, freezing the enemies, crowd trolling, and such things. But I forgot that the Whisper of Hedrons, the weapon damage buff, is literally like having kill clip or rampage ×3 on your weapons. The damage buff you get from that allows your weapons such as demolitionist or wellspring weapons to actually feel lethal and feel deadly. Now if you want it to be even more lethal, of course you can stack kill clip or you can stack rampage, but I like to spam abilities. All my builds literally focus around using my abilities as much as possible. So the fact that I can get a weapon damage buff through using my abilities, and I'm not tied to something like kill clip, it feels amazing, and it makes builds like this actually have a place and feel lethal in endgame content, because that was one of the things, is that you either sacrifice damage for abilities or you sacrifice abilities for damage, but not anymore with stasis, which is why I absolutely love the stasis subclasses. It really opens up some of these endgame builds, because you don't necessarily have to have just outlaw kill clip or outlaw rampage or feeding, whatever it is. You can literally just use a grenade build like this and be just as effective. I didn't even have an unstoppable champion mod. I had lament for the barriers, and then I had an auto rifle with void, and then I had a shotgun. I wasn't even spec'd out. I didn't have a sniper. I had to run up and get up close to do damage and such things. It was great, and I love that. And the fact that I was also able to support my teammates, not in the way of a Dawnblade middle tree, of Radiance warlock. I was giving them their grenades back because I was using my grenades when close to them, giving them death throws or whatever it is. I absolutely loved it. And just to keep building off what I just said, I feel like these stasis subclasses really offer a level of protection, I guess you can say, from some of the enemies in the endgame content. I feel like so often everyone just defaults to bubble or Well of Radiance, when in reality, stasis, it's just as good, and it's not giving you that weapon damage buff to all your teammates like Bubble or Well, and it's not providing a big healing rift, but you can slow the enemies down, which allows you and your teammates to really get control of the situation and not get overwhelmed. You know, we got to realize that stopping the enemies in their tracks and slowing them from coming in at you is extremely powerful, which allows you to, you know, get the damage you need, or kill that mage that's going to push you, or whatever it is. These stasis subclasses allow for a different kind of playstyle, and it allows for you not to just simply default to, well, Radiance, Bubble, or Tether, or whatever you want to call it, you know, whatever you want to use. Some of these end game, you know, builds and supers, you can just not use them and use Shadebinder or Behemoth or Revenant, and I really like that about these stasis subclasses, because they're not just the automatic, you know, oh, let me just pop my well here, let me just put my bubble down. Like, it is so much fun. Whenever I'm playing Warlock, I hate using well. I absolutely hate using well, because I just think it's so boring. It is such a boring super. It is a boring subclass in my opinion. I'm not saying it's weak, and by no means do I say it's weak. It is so powerful, but it is so boring to me. I like doing damage, or I like freezing things, or whatever it is. I like, even though I don't like using Nova Bomb, I'd rather use Nova Bomb than Well of Radiance. But I understand that it is necessary in raids and stuff like that. But with Shadebinder and Nightfalls, you don't have to use well all the time. Now, maybe in GMs is a little different. I don't know, because that's like the pinnacle, you know, the very pinnacle. Same thing in raids. There was like the pinnacle of PvE activities. So those, you know, you kind of have to do what you need to win. But if you're just running 1250s, even 1280 Nightfalls, I don't think that you need well or bubble. Of course, it depends on the specific strike, but I think for the most part, you don't really need to run that stuff. So let me know what you guys think. I love this build. I like any build that's not just your boring regular well or bubble, whatever it is. This was a lot of fun, way better than I thought it was going to be. I feel like I say that for every build, but it's true. They always end up being way better than I thought they were going to be. But let me know what you guys think, and definitely stay subscribed for more. But if you guys like this content, please like, subscribe, and share. It truly helps me out a lot. You can also check out my other videos. Links are in the description below. I have a lot of crazy builds, so go ahead and check that out. And you might as well follow my social media. I have a Twitter and an Instagram, both at @fat_Bloonskis. But with all that being said, deuces.